Hey, how's it going? So I figured I haven't done one of these in a little while. Live commentary with some gameplay. So we're playing Infection, and because I'm playing Infection, I thought today we'd talk a little bit about Infection. Now it's been a few days since this game mode dropped, and unfortunately our teammate got taken out there, but we did get the kill. But yeah, today I did want to talk about Infection. I've been having fun with it, some pretty great moments, and other moments not so great. There are a few gripes that I have, so to say that Infection is perfect would be, I think, far from it. Definitely needs a little bit of tweaking, but like I said, it's still a ton of fun. It has its great moments, like other Infection maps. One thing I actually really like about this map, specifically the crypt, is just the atmosphere. Just look at this. Look at the fog. Look at all the awesome stuff that you can do in Forge with these maps. So it's great. It's really awesome. I think one of the more interesting things about these maps is that because they're kind of promoting this type of map movement to get weapons, you have to like move around the map. You can't really sit in a certain spot. And technically you could, but it makes it more fun to run around and pick up weapons. And this is one of the more fun games. A lot of people are doing a little bit more movement. While I'm getting pushed here. But yeah, like I said, it's a ton of fun. I think one thing that it's missing is, for survivors, it seems like it's a little bit easier to live in this game. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The survivors do have radar, so it is a little bit easier for them to live. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Ooh, unfortunately, I ended up dying there too. And I was last man standing, last survivor. But like I said, it seems like it's a little too easy for the survivors to live. You do get a shotgun and an assault rifle. I'm not sure what they could do to really help give the infected a little bit more of an advantage. And see, here's the thing is, that game was good. That first round was good. The survivors ended up dying. I ended up dying. And I feel like that's kind of the way it should go. But most times it feels like if people know the map, if people are good at the game, at least good at shooting, then there's no big problem, no big deal with the infected. You can just wait for them to push you and just end up shooting them as a group. Something like this. So you just group up and you shoot them. You kind of play as a team without really, communicating too much. And you can usually end up winning the rounds. And there's usually at least one spot like that in all these maps. So I think if there was one thing I would change, maybe not take out the radar, but here's one thing. There is alpha zombies, 2 zombies that start off every single round, alpha zombies. They have a cloak ability. But they also have this kind of pestilence effect around their armor. I'm not sure what I would do with that, but because they have this pestilence effect, it doesn't really help their visibility. So I feel like it's counterintuitive to give them the cloaking ability, but give them that pestilence effect. If I were going to do something, if I were going to make it a little bit easier to be an infected, I wouldn't completely take out the pestilence effect. I would just lessen how really visible that pestilence effect is on the alpha zombies. Other than that, I think it just comes down to really playing the game, getting used to it. I think those are really my only few gripes that I have with the game. In reality, like I said, it's more so a few things that I've noticed that are kind of rough to play as for infected, and a few things that are rough to play as survivors as well. There's so many different weapons that it's kind of hard to really completely balance the game. And of course, it's infected. You're supposed to have a ton of fun. The balance of the game isn't supposed to be 100% reliant, because it's one of those fun and goofy game modes. So definitely, I think those are the 2 main changes that I have, is balancing things out for infected wise, to kind of just give them a little bit of a harder chance to die, or just make it a little bit easier for them to sneak up on the survivors. And see, this round was pretty decisive. It feels like once you become a zombie, nobody really wants to be a zombie or infected, and it kind of just ends up being in one of the end of those rounds where it doesn't really feel fun to play anything other than the survivor, because the survivors have weapons. For the zombies, you kind of have to play a little bit smarter. You have to really know where the weapons are on the map, so you can kind of just camp in that area, in that general area, to wait for them to come to you. But like I said, maybe I'm looking too much into it. Maybe I've been playing a little too much Infected, and I'm looking too much into it, and I should just be having fun with it. And all those problems aside, I think I should talk about the good, because I have been talking about a few of the things that I have had gripes with. So, like I said, I think the maps are great. This map is particularly great because of just the atmosphere that you get. It's perfect for it. It's called the Crypt for a reason, and it definitely has this type of crypt vibe. I think a few people ended up really comparing this map to something that they would see out of Destiny from, you know, one of the outer space planets, and it definitely has those vibes. And I think this is really what opened my eyes to what Forge has in store for us for the future. For the future of Halo, and for the future of Forgers, I think this is a great way for them to get all these maps and game types out. And hopefully we can include a lot more community maps into the game, like this, very creative, things that we could get in competitive Halo as well. I think if I were to talk about one other thing that's great about Infected and Halo 5, it would have to be... Hold on, I'm waiting for this guy to pop out here in a second. He didn't see me. All right, I'm just gonna play a little safe. I'm gonna get into the gameplay here a little bit. They haven't seen me yet. Did he see me? He might have seen me. I'm gonna go ahead and go this way. Oh, damn. Unfortunate. But yeah, if like I was saying earlier, if I had to say one great thing about Infected, it would definitely have to be, I think, Last Man Standing. Last Man Standing, I know they get infinite armor. I think they get like double, or they get double armor and they get infinite ammo for both weapons. I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of one of those moments where I would picture it as a movie where it's the last survivor standing. He has a bunch of this ammo around him, and he has, you know, this badass gun, and he's just shooting all the mobs of Infected coming towards him. I think it just needs a little bit more of something that would make being Infected fun. There is definitely those moments where Infected can work well. I mean, for pretty much the way you should look at Infected, I guess, is the way you should look at it this way. You should look at it this way. Survivors only have one life per round. Infected have infinite lives per round. I think when it comes down to it, it all should come down to how much fun you can have on either side. And to be honest, I think the survivor side is a little bit more fun at the moment. So I'm just looking at ways to make Infected and playing Infected a little bit more fun as well. But other than that, that is pretty much it for the video. My discussion on Infected. Like I said earlier, having a ton of fun with it. But let me know what you think. Are you having a ton of fun with Infected? Do you have a few gripes like the ones that I have? And if you have some gripes that I haven't really talked about, what are those gripes? Let me know. I'll leave you with those few questions. And as always, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. And I will see you next time.